an online course this summer. It just ended 3 days ago. And then I was also able to have a short visit to California visiting my sister.
Thank you, Nahal. And I know that Abudali recently came, but then disappeared. So I know that was here. See, is there anybody else? I think we've got everyone. The reason why is, first of all, we're following the old roster from now, and we don't have the new roster yet from the Office of the President. So we're really hoping to be able to have the full, well, not full, but more people joining us for our next meeting next month. Also, the liaison has yet to be invited to this meeting because for some other reasons, as far as we don't have registration and everything set yet. So before we begin, I wanted to ask if there would be someone who would be willing to make a motion to approve today's agenda that is now being recorded. Thank you, Angie. Is there a second? Thank you, Kara. So the agenda and recording for today's meeting has been approved. So next on the agenda is going to be the chair's report. I would like to share with you that my report now is as past chair, and I will share it, but my role as advisor. So that means that I will be helping to facilitate the leadership committee if they have any questions or need any support from the NIU community, and also with the Dr. Carol's Sumners and Tamara Boston, if we need to have any discussions with them on how best to guide the President's committee. So as of right now, next week on Tuesday will be our first annual joint presidential committee retreat. So myself and Matt will be attending next week on Tuesday, and we're trying to figure out the best way that we can merge with the other presidential committees to be able to partner with them and to be able to share new information with them for our meeting next month. Commissions. And that wraps up my part, and I'm going to turn it over to Matt, who is the current chair as of now.
Thank you, Taylor. So as Taylor noted, he's staying on as the immediate past chair. So that is a new role that was instituted at the end of last year. So that's going to be very helpful for the current leadership team. As he said, he's in an advisory role. So then the remainder or the leadership team as it stands now is I am the current chair, where my term will last for the next 2 years. Dawn, as vice chair, will actually only be on for 1 year. And this is because another change that has been made, which we'll talk about a little bit more when we get to the bylaws discussion, is we will have staggered vice chair and chair terms. And so Dawn is going to serve out a 1-year term, and then we will start that 2-year term cycle at the end of this year. And then Danica is actually stepping into a different role in the leadership. She was vice chair last year, and now she is the recorder. So thank you everyone for agreeing to serve with me on the leadership team. Where, as Don said, we're learning together, and so having Taylor around and all of you with your experience on the commission is going to be very helpful. So thank you. So prior business, we'll now move on to, or I'm sorry, I jumped something. So I just wanted to give everyone a NaviLens update. At the end of last fiscal year, there was some talk that maybe NaviLens would be cut from the budget. That turned out not to be the situation, but it did come up. So that is something we're going to want to keep an eye on and consider over the coming year about ways to alternatively fund that program if for some reason it gets put on the chopping block again, because we want to make sure that that program, which I believe has been very helpful, I know it's in quite a few buildings on campus, and it's only been around for 1 year, that we give it time to do what it's supposed to be doing, and don't get rid of it too quickly. So that will be something on the agenda for this coming year, ways to maintain that. For prior business, in terms of well-being at NIU, part of this is ways that the commission, the presidential, or the PCPD can work with other organizations on campus to make sure that we are being proactive. And so Taylor and the leadership had a discussion about ways to uh, keep momentum going to make sure that the PCPD is not a passive advocacy group, but that we're trying to make sure we're bringing faculty, staff, students, concerns to the commission so that we can report them accurately to the administration. And so that is going to also be a goal of this entire year, and actually has been a goal when Taylor stepped into the chair role 4 years ago. We're just going to continue that. So if there are any opportunities for collaboration, joint programming, or just anything that you can think of that the commission could be involved in, please let us know, and we would be happy to explore those, because we just want to make sure, again, that the commission is being proactive and that we're ensuring that the university is a safe and healthy place for everyone to participate in. The meeting schedule, as you can see, this was agreed upon at the end of last year. So again, we'll be meeting on the third Thursday of every month. This meeting is a little awkward only because the semester hasn't started. We don't have our current rosters, but because we had already set the meeting schedule, that's why we're holding it now. So one additional byproduct of having this meeting in the manner we are is, at this point, I don't believe we do not have a quorum. So we can't vote on anything today, which is okay, because we want to make sure that we get everyone involved and get everything in place to vote on for the next meeting. So there will be a few things that will be sent out after this meeting for you all to consider for the next meeting. But we want to make sure that we get that current roster in, we meet our quorum requirements, and that we're able to hold those votes. If not, we will do what we did last year and the year before, or in the years before, and hold virtual votes via Qualtrics to make sure we are meeting the quorum requirements in the bylaws. So before we move on, any questions about any of the prior business? Okay. All right. If not, we will move on to new business. So as Taylor had mentioned and I had mentioned, there are some bylaws changes that are being proposed. So some of those are coming from the overall commission level, some of the changes to the terminology. So we no longer have a secretary, we have a recorder. I should double check that. I can't remember if it's reporter or recorder, but it's not secretary. I know it's not secretary, but those proposed changes will be sent out to you after this meeting, or I'm sorry, the proposed changes will be sent to the new policies and procedures subcommittee to look over it and give any recommendations so that we can then vote on it. Hopefully the plan is at the September meeting. A lot of those are just technical changes, but we want to make sure that our bylaws are in alignment with the commission bylaws, as well as making internal sense. So making sure that the liaison names are accurate and that we are filling those liaison roles as well. And also identifying offices that need liaisons that don't, just making sure that we are using that as our blueprint for running efficiently this year. So those will be sent out to the Policies and Procedures Commission or subcommittee as soon as one is named. Upcoming projects, right now we have some working projects that are coming over from last year. So the normal road closure, which we discussed a lot last year, we are still in the process of talking and working with the city to make sure that we can make the buildings along Normal Road more accessible, and that the closure isn't going to negatively impact people more than it already has. And so we are continuing to have those discussions and we will continue to discuss the best ways to resolve those situations. Additionally, let me find my list here. Additionally, some of those outreach opportunities I had mentioned, we want to make sure that we are, again, being proactive. That's just something that when we had our transition meeting, that's just something that we all agreed we want the commission to be. We don't want to just sit back and wait for things to be brought to us. We want to go out and make sure that we are being proactive and doing that outreach to the community. So again, if you have anything that comes to mind, please bring it to the commission. We will be working with the DRC as we have in years past to make sure that the commission and the DRC or the commission can help the DRC as much as we are able and allowed to do under the requirement, under the policies of the university. One of those will include a training in October. We'll have more information on that at the next meeting, but that's one thing that is in the works. I know I'm going to miss something in here. Just looking real quickly at my notes. Yeah, I know I'm missing something, but I can't remember it right now, and I can't find it in my notes quickly. So rather than having, oh, Taylor, go ahead.
Can I throw something in? Working with the class. That's what it was, right?
When last year we had a member of class come in and speak to the commission about ways to raise disability awareness on campus and the best ways to go about that outreach. And so we'll continue to work with class. We'll probably have I believe it was Professor Sizemore came in and spoke to us. We might have him back. Yes. We might have someone else back to give us an update about how their work is going and what ways the commission can help facilitate that across courses and across the campus. Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate that. So those are just some of the projects that we've discussed. Those will not be the only projects, but again, any ideas you have, please let us know. And we want to make sure that we are being active and be doing our due diligence as a commission. So the next order of business, subcommittee selection. So as the new academic year begins, we have the following committees will be available for you all to join and participate in. We have awards, accessible technology, policies and procedures, and the policies and procedures, and a programming. Apologies, programming committee. So those are the 4 committees that we have typically had. So those are just as a reminder of what those committees do. The awards committee revises the guidelines where needed for awards to be included in our policy and procedure manual. And we'll solicit nominees for awards, and we'll select among nominees. And so this is where at the end of the year, we have our in-person meeting where the awardees are announced. So that is the primary role of that subcommittee. Accessible technologies, we'll continue the mission over the last couple of years about drafting educational materials about accessible technology procurement for distribution to the community. The policies and procedure manual subcommittee will draft membership selection language to make sure that I'm sorry, I'm losing track here. To draft a brochure, handout, or card for use by the PCPD to make sure that our policies and procedures make sense, make internal sense, and are being followed, and also to give any guidance to language for bylaws changes or letters of recommendation as they may come up. And then the programming subcommittee will bring unique knowledge and skills to supplement the programming related to disabilities on campus, and will collaborate with other units on campus to ensure that the inclusion of these communities. So that is the relatively new subcommittee, but last year, you'll remember, we had a wonderful program on neurodiversity held in the library. And so if those are the 4 subcommittees, so after this meeting, I will send out a Qualtrics selection survey. So please volunteer for 1 or 2 of these subcommittees to participate on, so that we can break up some of the work of the commission and allow the work to continue to move forward smoothly and efficiently. And then website updates. This is mostly in ensuring that our roster is current, and that any internal changes that we are identifying within the commission are represented in the public space on the website. So again, once we get the full roster and the liaison list, we'll be able to update those materials on the website to make sure that everything is up to date. So, okay. And so all of this is to say we have a lot of things planned for the year, but we can't really get started on it right now because we are still waiting to make sure that we fill out not just the membership, but the liaison list. But we can get started on a few things after the meeting. Primarily, once I send out that Qualtrics survey, please fill that out if possible, please fill that out by the end of next week so that we can get these committees at least started. Once we get more members announced, we'll be able to fill in those committees a little bit more, but we can at least get some of the work started for the beginning of the semester. Okay. Okay. Are there any? Okay, before we move on to the next order of business, any questions or concerns about any of the new business just discussed? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So are there any announcements from the commission? Any announcements from the members? Taylor.
I have one. NIU Waltz Week? Wellness Week, sorry. Week? No, not wellness.
Welcome.
Welcome Week. I'm welcome. Welcome week. NIU's Welcome Week is looking for more volunteers for helping with different events going on campus. For example, they want some NIU football stadium help with the shirts, handing out the NIU shirts, or helping with late night movies on campus. And there's a whole variety of things, events that are happening on campus for Welcome Week. And so I did send out an email, I think it was last week, or one was sent out last week or early this week, looking for volunteers. So if you haven't yet done that and you want to, that'd be lovely if you could help with the volunteering for Welcome Week.
Thank you, Taylor. That's a really important key to this, because we don't want to just reach out to the community, say like, oh, how can you help us? The more we go out and help the community, the more we can set up those collaborations and partnerships. So yeah, thank you, Taylor, for that announcement. Any other announcements? Okay. Well, I thought it would be a short meeting just because we can't really vote on anything and there's not too much to discuss at this point. But I really, really appreciate you all stepping on to this call before the semester officially begins, so that we can at least get the ball rolling for what I'm hoping will be a very productive and successful year. So as I said, I will follow up with that Qualtrics survey. Please, if you can, fill that out as soon as you can by the end of next week. And then once we have some subcommittee set up, we can start getting some of these bylaws changes cleared up and approved and set up for the next meeting. Okay. And other note, apologies for not restarting the recording until about 5-10 minutes into it. I thought I had set it up to automatically record, and then noticed there was no recording. So I apologize to those who introduced yourself early on and will not be on the official recording. I will be sure to make sure that is done much earlier in future meetings. Okay. All right. Well, do I have a motion to adjourn? Kara? And a second? Angie and Taylor? Thank you. All right. I don't think we have to vote, but I guess, does anyone object to adjourning? All right. Well, then we can do it by acclamation. So thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. We are adjourned at 3:32 p.m. and our next meeting will be on September 19th. So I will see you all then. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good start to your semester.